Good morning, everyone. Dr. Victoria Skirbo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. I'm here in my dining room, and the plants are back in. My husband lets the plants out in the summertime to sort of have their time in the sun, I guess, so to speak. And then right before it gets cold, we bring them all in. And they're really starting to thrive now. They go into a little bit of shock, mostly because it's much less moist in the house than it is outside. So we kind of live in a relative, well, we're close to the ocean, so there's always a lot of moisture in the air, and so they have to get used to being back in the house. We just have to make sure we miss them a lot. So that they don't feel like they're in too much shock. So hopefully you can see me fine. I know there's light behind my head, so if it's distracting, I apologize. So I did a couple of readings the other night. That was before Thanksgiving, Wednesday night, and it was the 26th, I believe. No, it was the 27th. I didn't know what day it was then either. It was the 27th. Today is the 29th. It's Black Friday here in America, when everybody loses their marbles to buy all their Christmas presents at a discount. So be careful out there, folks. The moon's in Capricorn today, so people might be a little bit more likely to go by the rules of the game, so to speak. And people may be a little bit more frugal than they have been. I think a lot of people out there understand that something's coming down the pike, and maybe they don't want to put themselves in too much debt. Okay, so what I thought I would do is I would do a card reading I did a card reading for the new moon, and we are now, let's see, the new moon was on the 26th. So we're 3 days away from the new moon. The moon in Capricorn now, the new moon was in Sag. So in the next couple of days, you'll see the crescent coming out. So we're still in what we consider the new phase of the new moon cycle. So what I thought I would do is I would do perhaps a phase by phase analysis for Donald Trump. Okay, so we had the new moon, and the new moon goes from the 26th to, I believe it's the 3rd. So the new moon goes from November 26th until the first quarter moon, which happens on December 4th. So let's see what that first quarter of the moon, what's in the heavens for Trump. Now the first quarter, the new moon to the first quarter moon is a time of becoming. It's a time when things are starting. Things are gradually coming to light. The new moon, of course, is a time when you can't see the moon. And of course, the full moon is the culmination. So this particular new moon occurred on the 26th of December, which was this past Tuesday. So let's see. This is the new moon. So we have the Queen of Pentacles, which is a money card. The the Nine of Wands, the Eight of Cups, the Seven of Wands, and the Six of Cups. So this is very interesting. So the primary concern here is, of course, money. Trump's primary concern is his ability to keep his money, to stabilize his financial situation. He is willing to fight for that, so he is willing to fight. We have the Eight of Cups here. I think this is a offer to to walk away. He's being given an offer to walk away. This is him fighting that offer, him saying, no, I am the president. I have important things to do. I am making America great again. Yada, yada, yada. And then we have the last card, which is the Six of Cups, which is that whole idea of making America great again. But it's also a nostalgia for a time when he was, I think, up and coming, as opposed to, there was a time for him of pure potential, of an opportunity to make America great again. It's very interesting. He is the ultimate opportunist, and he actually has been given the ultimate opportunity, being the president of the United States, and yet he's failed because it's so, in a way, with no real structure or no real understanding. It was just this sort of, he is the epitome of the desire to have, to be the best, to be the greatest, to a legend sort of in his own mind. And we've all been taken on this journey, some willingly, some kicking and screaming, some knowing, some in hope that he would in fact be this great savior. And those of us who are like the Cassandras in the group, who are like, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. No, this is a bad idea. What are you guys doing? Wah! And we get to go for the ride as well. And so I think he wants to be back in that place where it was just all possibility and not just what we've actually seen him do, because I think in his own mind, he knows that he's a fraud. Okay, so the first quarter square to the full moon phase is the crisis and action phase. And so this is a natural time for us to take an action. And so we're going to see what kind of actions Trump takes at this time. So let me shuffle these cards up again. So this is the crisis in action. And with the sun being in Sagittarius at this time, the first quarter square would be a Pisces moon first quarter square. And of course that gives us some energy around that. Pisces is illusion and delusion, or can be, sort of believing your own fantasies. Can you hear my bird? The door is closed. He's losing his marbles. He does oftentimes say, react to stuff as I'm doing these readings at the exact time. So this is the crisis. This is the crisis moon. Okay, so let's see what kind of actions we have here. Okay, we have the most action-oriented card, really, the Magician. So we know that he's going to take an action. It's going to be a focused action, and he's going to use all the tools at his disposal. He is going to call in favors from his big donors. The thing is with him is you wonder why people support him. Well, one of the things that he's not loyal to people, but he is, if you give him money, he will give you something in return. It's very transactional, so he does understand that, and I think he's going to be calling in his markers, so to speak, when it comes to big money. Now, they may not bite. Okay, they may not bite. We have a crossroads here. There are people who are holding back, not really sure that he's the good investment anymore. He's going to continue to do things. His actions are going to be commiserate with everything that he's done so far. Whether it be lying or giving away the farm or making promises, selling off our land, whatever he has to do. And it's nothing new. It's if you want to catch him doing it, you just have to see what he's done before, and he will be doing the same thing. And let's see the last card, and we have celebration here. We have celebration. So this is support. So he is going to get some support, emotional support anyway. This could be the emotional support that he gets from his base when he does these sort of Trump Fest, 45 Fest, gatherings of his supporters. It's like he gets to stand up there and say nonsense, and people cheer for him. So I think that he is going to go that route as well. Look for support in the ways that he's always had support. All right. Now the full moon goes from December 12th to December, let's see, it's 7 days, I think the 19th. The full phase moon is when things come to fruition, when things open up. So those things that were started in the new moon phase come to fruition. And I feel like this is where we're going to get some fruition on the money issues. Okay, so I'm going to shuffle again. And I say the money issues because that was the first card that came up, the Queen of Pentacles, sustaining his resources. Sustaining his resources. All right. Okay, let's see what we get. 5 cards. Okay, we have the Strength card, the 6 of Pentacles, the Hierophant, the 7 of Swords, and the Knight of Cups. Okay. So the Strength, I'm not sure what the Strength card means actually. So I'm going to, come back to it. But the story I'm getting here, the 6 of Pentacles is paying those, it has to do with a fair distribution of resources, okay? It also is, where is the money going, right? In this card, the money is going from the hand of the rich man into the palms of the poor and the needy, okay? And so, and of course, we see that there is a scales here. So this is about justice. So I think that the Strength card, as the first card coming up, is the strength of fair distribution of resources, the strength of being fair, next to the Hierophant, which is the government. And this can also be the constitution of the government. And we see that the dirty tricks being exposed, and we also see, I see this as one of his toadies being sacrificed. So this could be Rudy Giuliani, it could be somebody else, but somebody is going to be sacrificed. Somebody is going to be literally, we hear this an awful lot, thrown under the bus. That's definitely happening. Okay, so now let's look at the last quarter phase. And the last quarter phase is a phase in which we come to a realization, a crisis in belief. So he comes into, perhaps this is his crisis in belief. what's interesting about this whole lunation cycle is that because he is a Gemini with a Sag moon, this actually is right on the nodes of his moon. That I think the full moon is right on the nodes of his moon, and when you see that, so the sun is on the sun in the sky is on his moon. The moon in the sky is on his sun. It's crossing his nodes. This is a fated time. This is a time when the past is exposed. Sun on the south node, um, and then the moon on the north node is the emotional reaction to that. So that's the full moon. That's the exposure. Now let's see the last quarter moon. What do we get with the last quarter moon? We have the Victory card, the Seven of Cups. That's such a trump card, isn't it? The Chariot, which is also a Victory card. The Nine of Pentacles, the Idle Rich. Call it the Idle Rich card, or it's the self-made woman. It could be either, or the self-made person. It's not. They're not all idle. A lot of people who have money work really hard for it. So it's not a. This is not an anti abundance ramp. The Empress. Okay, so how I see this is there is a victory. Now, whose victory is it, right? The Seven of Cups I see as the illusions, but then we have the Chariot, and the Chariot is about things moving forward very quickly. I see this as where the wealth is, and then I see this as, and I don't always see that as this card, but many readers do, Russia. And so I think what we will see here is we will see how how his victory is connected to Russia. That's what it looks like to me. So, and I think we see that how not. I'm not sure it's going to be like, oh yes, Russia got him in. No, that's not what I mean. But I mean is Russia has bankrolled him for decades now, and he is paying them back. And he has been a lot of what he's done has been to the detriment of this country and the benefit of Russia.